and rock is also a stone. But then you do not go to listen to a rock music concert with rocks in your hand.
Okay, the last example on the screen is rose. It has two different meanings. Meaning number one is flower, and meaning number two is past tense of rise. So, rose is a flower. For example, roses smell sweet. Here it is used as a noun, and rose is a past tense of verb 1, that is rise also. Rise, rose, risen. For example, the sun always rises in the east. So, the word rose as a noun denotes the name of a flower, and the verb 2, that is past tense of rise, it denotes the past tense of rise.
Similarly, you could say the sun rose and I saw a red rose in my garden. Homophones. Yes, sir.
Homophones. Now, first we have the definition of homophones. Homo means same and phone means sound. Homophones means words that sound the same but are spelled differently. So, here we have examples of the words which are pronounced similarly but they have different meanings. For example, the first example on the screen is see. Now, to see is to look, and see as a noun, it means the ocean. So, the word SEE and SEA, the words have different spellings, but they are used as a noun also and as a verb also. The first word SEE is used to denote look, and the second word SEA is used for an ocean.
You could say, look at the ocean, see the sea. Similarly, more homophones here, where you have two different words, DEAR, deer, and DEER, deer. Two different spellings, but same pronunciation. Just for an example, in Ramayana, Ram went after the deer. But for Sita, it was her dear Ram who went after a deer. So, deer could mean a creature, and dear could mean a beloved person. Okay, dear could be anybody who is beloved, who is close to you, and you also use it as a salutation when you are writing something. When you are writing a letter, you start with dear sir.
Similarly, we have some more examples of homophones. Sun, SUN, and sun, SON. Both are nouns and they are used in different ways. For example, the first word SUN, sun, is the sun rises in the east, or the sun is there in the sky. Sun, SON, means a son of a father. For example, Mr. Pandya has two sons and a daughter. The second word is blue. Now, blue is the past form of blow, and blue is the name of a color. For example, the drivers, they blew horns frequently on the roads while driving. And second, blue is the name of a color. I like blue t-shirts. Number 3 is need. Yes.
Okay, number 3 is need, N-E-E-D, need, and K-N-E-A-D, need. When you knead chapatis, your mother has to knead the flour. જ્યારે રોટલી કરવા માટે મમ્મી કે બેન કે કોઈ બીજા લોટ વણે છે એને આપણે need કહીએ, second વાળું. And that is why it becomes very important, and that is why I'm explaining it in Gujarati, because every day the women or even men in the hotels and other places, when they are making chapatis, they have to knead the flour. And kneading is a way of mixing things, the way we mix it with our hands while making chapatis. So if you knead chapatis, you have to knead the flour. More examples. I, and I. Three different spellings. The first I, AYEI, if you happen to see the proceedings in the Lok Sabha or the Rajya Sabha, where they have a vote. So generally the speaker says that those in favor of the motion say aye, and everyone says aye if they are in favor. Those not in favor said nay, and everyone who is not in favor says nay, which would mean no. So I would mean yes. But then it is not used anywhere else these days. It is, let's say, limited for its use in the parliament or in the assemblies, where either you have to pass something or a motion with a voice vote. So A in that sense, AYE, which is pronounced as I. Again, the second I, that is the eyes that we have to see things. And the third I, that is when I use as a pronoun, when I use it as the first person singular pronoun I. Okay, I am speaking to you. The middle I would say you should always have eye contact while talking to your friends or while addressing your audience. Second, you have or, and or. If you are rowing a boat in, let's say, the Kakaria lake, you have to, if it's not a paddle boat, then you have to row it with an oar. Similarly, or, it tells you about the option that you have. What would you like? Tea or coffee? What would you wear? T-shirt or shirt? Okay, so or always tells you about an option. The third or is generally used with metals, iron ore. Okay, so ore is a metal, or from ore we can derive various metals. So ore is found under the earth generally. The next example is for, and for. When you are doing something for someone, okay, that is for. For is generally used as a preposition. Okay, so for, FORE, for, that is something that comes before, okay, for. And FOUR, which is a number that comes after 3 and before 5. So FOUR, for. Three different spellings, similar pronunciation, but three different meanings. Next, you have bite, and bite. The second and the third bite, I think, are very commonly used these days. The first bite probably we do not use it that much, though we live in Gujarat, where more than 1600 kilometers of the area is, let's say, near the ocean. So you have an ocean line of more than 1600 kilometers. And when you go to that ocean line, or when you go to those beaches, you find the first bite there. The bite, BIGHT, is a curve that you find near the sea or near the ocean. Similar curves you could also find on the roads, because if you're very far away from the ocean or very far away from the sea, you might not be able to see those curves. So the first bite means a curve that you find near the sea, or you find a curve that, let's say, differentiates the land or gives it a different form. The second bite is when you're eating something, you have to bite it with your teeth. We generally bite with our 4 teeth, with our front teeth. And the third bite, which is very common these days, is the bite that you use for memory, is the bite that you use in your computers, is the bite that you use in your mobile phones. How many megabytes, how many kilobytes, how many gigabytes. So the third bite denotes that capacity that you have as memory, that capacity that you have in any of your gadgets that you are using these days. Some more examples.
The first one on the screen is where, WARE, WEAR, and WHERE.
Now this again becomes very important, because generally when we learn English as a second language, and to differentiate the meaning through our pronunciation, we generally pronounce WHERE as where. It should never be pronounced with that glottal H coming out or very prominent, because the H is very silent here. But then generally people here, students, pronounce WHERE as where the H should not be pronounced. It is where. WARE, where. When you go to the market to buy certain wares, certain things, okay, that's where. Warehouse, where you, in the godown, where you let's say put various things. Again, wear, wear means when you wear a dress, that is wearing something. Okay, and where is a place. Suppose you go to a mall, so you say, where can I go and wear my clothes, or where can I go and wear the dress that I want to purchase. Okay, so where tells you about the place. Where tells you about the process of wearing something, and where is could be the go down or could be the place where you keep all these things. Similarly, you have there, their, there, and theyre, there. Three different spellings, similar pronunciation, but again three different types of meanings. There, there means it is theirs, someone's, there. Okay, they, there, as we use it in the third person. THERE, there tells you about a place, not here but there. Okay, don't keep it here, keep it there. Okay, there was a monkey in the jungle, there was a lion in the zoo, and they apostrophe re, that is there. That is when you are using as they are coming here. Okay, so where you do not write the a but then you write an apostrophe and you say there. Similarly, you have the word rain, rain, and rain. Again, three different spellings but similar pronunciation. Just for an example, we have been waiting for the rains for quite a few days now. It's very cloudy, but then we do not have the rains as frequently as they appear to fall from the sky. So here again, rain, rain, could mean the drops that fall from the clouds above us. The second rain could mean about the kingdom, okay, the reign of Queen Elizabeth or the reign of King Vikramaditya. That's the reign. And the third rain, rein, rain, is with which you generally ride a horse. Okay, you rein your horse. Okay, like Gujarati ma tame એને લગામ આપણે કહીએ છીએ. Okay, rein. So you try to rein something where you control it through the rein. You control a horse through the reins that you have in your hands. Similarly, the word praise, praise, and praise. We generally use the second prayer more. When you are performing a prayer, you are praying. So pray, pray. But then when you are praising somebody, when you are saying something good about somebody, you praise that person, praise. And the third pray, prey, pray, that is when the lion or the tiger goes out hunting, it prays someone. Okay, so the deer is a prey for a lion, or the deer is a prey for a tiger. Similarly, the third or the last example here, which all of us use very frequently, all the three words, buy, when you go and purchase something, you are buying it. The second buy, when you say, by the way, I was just passing by, or this was done by me. So you use by in that sense. And the third buy, buy, okay, that is when you are leaving someone, when you are going away. So you say bye, sayonara, avjo, that's the bye, bye. Okay, various times there are students who generally misspell the last bye. They have to say bye or avjo, but then they let's say spell it with by or buy. Bye would be that is we are leaving. Okay. Next could be again homophones. More examples. Yes, sir.
In the last slide, the word praise is very nicely placed, because the word praise is used in all the three ways: praise, prays, and preys. All the three, they are used as words, but they have different meanings. That is very interesting. The other examples, they have either noun or preposition in the second or third place, but this example, that is praise, which is used as a verb, praise, pray, and prey, that is the best example. Praise means to appreciate, that people praise the brave people. Here praise is a verb. The second pray, we pray to the God every day before our first lecture. And the third pray, that is the lion prays the small animals during the daytime. So that is, I think, the best example, because the verb, the same pronunciation, the different spelling but used in different ways.
Okay, let's come to the next category, that is homographs. As we have already seen that homo means same, graph means writing. So homographs, literally same writing, share the same spelling but have different meaning and pronunciation. Just for an example, yes, sir.
Yes, we have an example on the screen. That is, the first example is lead, L-E-A-D. The pronunciation is lead. It is a verb meaning show the way. For example, the guide will lead you. Now here the pronunciation is lead, L-E-E-D for example, and the spelling is L-E-A-D, from which we have a noun, that is leader. But the second word on the screen, that is lead, that is a metal, L-E-A-D. So the spelling is the same, but the pronunciation differs and the meaning also differs. L-E-A-D, lead, is a metal. Another example on the screen of homographs is, the first one is live, that is verb. For example, I live in India. The second example is an adjective. The spelling is the same, L-I-V-E, but pronunciation and meaning differs. The pronunciation of the second word is live, that is live music or live match, or at present we are delivering a live lecture from Bisect Studio. Another example is, as a noun, W-I-N-D, the pronunciation is wind, and as a verb, W-I-N-D, the pronunciation is wind. Now the difference between both the words is pronunciation only, meaning also differs. The first word, that is W-I-N-D, wind, the wind was blowing very fast. And the second word, that is verb, W-I-N-D, that is the bare infinitive, wind, wound, wound. It means rhymes with kind, and it means wind your clock regularly.